live. How are you, Samiksha? How's it going this morning?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I love our impromptu interview. It's awesome. We're here to talk about clouds in my coffee. And can you talk about how you came to this project and about, the development process? I love the films that inspired this one. If you could talk about those too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started writing Clouds in My Coffee maybe like December or November of like last year, 2023. This was like, I think my best friend actually, she was like, she's an actor and she was like, I really want to do like a serious project.
Hmm.
Because I think before my films in high school were like very coming of age and lighthearted a bit in a way. And I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do something a bit more heartfelt as well.
Mhm.
So I started brainstorming and I came up with this concept. She actually ended up being a producer on it instead. But yeah, that's how I did that. And as for inspiration, um, I like rewatched Mustang by Denise Gamze Erdogan.
It's so good. Yeah.
A classic. But I think a lot of the themes are very similar in terms of like sisterhood and finding who you are and community. And After Sun also, Charlotte Wells.
Yes. Here we
Yes,
go.
there we go, about Charlotte Wells.
Yes.
Yeah, I like read the screenplay for that twice and also watched the movie like this year, like rewatched it again.
So good.
It's like it's so like true to screen, the screenplay. And yeah, it's just I think the thing that I wanted to observe with that one was like the relationship between um the young girl and her father, which was a big inspiration for the storyline between like my main character's relationship with her mom. But yeah.
That's so great. And can you talk about the title of this film, Clouds in My Coffee? Because I was like, that's so unique. And then yeah, so can you talk about how you came with that title?
Yeah, so just to preface, because I realized I did not say, but the film is about two young girls, they're both sisters, and they're daughters to like a neglectful mother. And the younger sister is 12 turning 13, and she's navigating her way through adolescence with the help of her older sister who's worried for her. And what ends up happening is she begins like a burgeoning relationship with a much older man, her science tutor. Um, so yeah, so Clouds in My Coffee. It's inspired by a Carly Simon song called You're So Vain.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that.
yeah, so basically Carly Simon's, I guess like take on the term clouds in my coffee is essentially like having your head in the clouds and needing to smell the coffee to wake up to reality in a way.
Hmm.
Which I thought was really fitting for this film because I feel like so there's three characters, the main character, her sister, and her mom, and in a way they're all not aware of one another's situation. There's like no communication happening, and everyone kind of just has to face reality a little bit. So yeah, that's where that's inspired from.
Yeah, that I love that. And then I in your Seed and Spark page, and we'll get into where you're at in the process and how people can support this project. But I love how you talk about South Asian women in front of like representation in front of and behind the camera. Can you talk about that element, like those choices?
Yeah, okay. This is like my favorite part. I think so. I've never directed a fully, or not fully, but like I've never directed a South Asian cast, or like a South Asian crew, and they're also all women. Um, so that's great. Um, yeah, the reason I decided to do that was because I noticed there was a bit of a gap in like the media and the films and television I was consuming in Hollywood, which
Mhm.
is that not only is there like limited South Asian representation, but it's also quite stereotypical. And a lot of the representation that there is sort of about being South Asian in your story, and that doesn't always have to be the case. There's actually this show, it's not Hollywood, I don't think, but it's called One Day, and it's about like this Indian girl who is like falling in love with a man, and they're kind of like missing each other, and it's not about being Indian at all. She's just Indian, or just
Mhm.
wants to be. And yeah, I think I really wanted to have a story where it's from a South Asian lens, but
Mhm.
also tells us that you're more than just your cultural or ethnic identity. And I feel like oftentimes like minorities kind of have to fit into that box of like talking about the struggle of like um I guess like your ethnicity, or like
Mhm.
like how Indian people struggle to get to where they are, but it's not always about the struggle. I feel it's always there's a lot of like good moments, and sometimes it's just people living their lives and not necessarily in tied to their background ethnically.
Yeah, I love that. That's so great. And can you go in a little deeper about your team, like the behind the camera crew?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So my producer, her name is Piyu Somani. She's Indian actually as well, and she's phenomenal. She's like super talented and hardworking. She actually comes from like she does more of like assistant camera work and directing as well. So it's been great working with her. And then my best friend who suggested I do more serious script is also producing. Her name is Essence, and this is her first time doing something of the sorts in such a like big I guess like I don't know like a bigger production-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
figuring it out, but it's um it's great, yeah. And my production designer also has been doing some associate producing as well. She's also a really really close friend of mine. Her name is Maya Ramdayal. She's Guyanese, Indo-Caribbean. um so yeah, so it's we have like a crew that like our department heads are women who are of
Yeah.
brown descent. But yeah.
That's so great. I love that. And I feel like I met Essence. Was she at Indie Shorts? Or maybe I'm
Oh, you
thinking.
have Maya. No, you might have
Um,
met Maya. Yeah.
oh yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I remember I met a bunch of you. And by
Yeah.
the way, like I think I loved your short film that screened at Indie Shorts last year. I mean it was so good. But anyways, can you talk about the stage you're at in the fundraising process and where you need the most support? And we will link the Seed and Spark page in the Cinema Femme feature and on the YouTube channel. But can you just talk a little bit where you guys are at?
So right now we are in the funding process where I think we have 18 days left to raise 54%, I think. We need only like 3,400, I think, to be greenlit.
Mhm.
But full goal we're trying to get to is 10K. And we're right now we're at like 4,400 something.
Mhm.
Which is crazy to think about. Like community has been such a big thing in our process. And I feel so grateful for it. But yeah, we're in the funding process, and we're also in the casting process. So we haven't locked actors yet, but there's a lot of good candidates, and we're super excited to yeah, just start in that process. But next month it's going to be a lot of rehearsals, a lot of location scouts, a lot of working with the crew, getting everyone together. But yeah, super excited. We're filming in October, so that's like a month, 2 months away. 2 months away.
Yeah, and you're in college, right? Like, are
Yeah.
you a full-time student?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, to balance all that, I mean, way to go.
Yes.
That's so great. And then my last question is, what do you hope people see in your film?
Um, I hope people see that. Ooh, this is a good question. I have to think. I hope people feel heard, in the most general way. I think that there there are a lot of situations in life where the lines kind of get blurred, and this is like one of those things in terms of our story. A little girl essentially being groomed by an older man is something that happens more
Mhm.
often than people think. But the signs are kind of overlooked, and sometimes it's not like apparent, like certain things that are happening, whether it be related to something like this or maybe something even completely different. But I hope people feel heard and open to listen to others who are going through stuff like this.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Well, I wish you luck in this project, and I'm so excited to see it. Please keep in touch about it, and who knows, you might be a part of our festival one year. So, yeah. So have a good weekend, and I hope to get this feature up early next week.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much, Rose.
Okay.